Hi from Ilaria, founder of FEET-NESS. So today we're going to go through a few exercises with rescue loop. First of all, this is great. This little sequence is perfect if you are new to working with rescue loop and working out the feet. So what we have in rescue loop, we have a foot strap, a bigger strap that we usually place on the feet, and we'll see that in a second. And then a second little strap that we place around the big toe. There is a spring resistance, and the goal is never to pull out way too much. It's just to get the tension in the spring, create a little space between the coils of the springs, and be able to maintain. That what gives you the connection between the work that we're doing on the foot-ankle complex all the way up to the pelvis and even above. But let's stop at the pelvis for now. So I usually recommend to start with the foot strap because it's a little more user-friendly, because it's good for everyone, because if we do set up a good foot-ankle complex and we place and we load the foot correctly, then all the forefoot conditions are easier to fix, okay? Otherwise, if we keep putting a lot of weight on the toes and walking in the wrong way and not placing the heel and the foot, the ankle in the right way, then all those conditions keep reiterating and they will never go away. So we're going to start placing the foot strap all around the foot. We're going to place it just below the joint of the little toe, okay? So over here, we're going to put the foot strap around the foot. This sitting down on the floor is the ideal position because it's easier than to connect the work. But if by any chance you have not this position available, if for now the hamstrings are too tight or any other reasons, feel free to sit up on a chair or on a yoga block or anything that helps you get into this type of work. Let's put the hands on the hips, and here I want you to keep the heels in place and just turn out the feet and then release. Again, you lift, you stay tall, heels stay, and you turn out and you separate the front part of the foot and release. One more time, you open, you keep the tension, maintain the tension, hold, 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 and release. Now, slightly different. We're going to spread out parallel. So also the heels are moving now. And release. Again, you lift, everything pulls out. So in the very first one, we were working more on the glute max. Right now, we're here on the glute medius, our side kicks, and release. And again, out. If you want to get to strengthen also the upper body, then you can pick positions that get you there, right? That either challenge or facilitate your posture. Good. Loosen out the legs for a second. Now from here, you're going to go back to that nice lift. You pull out, activating the glute medius. We maintain everything. Let's all go with the arms out to the side. And you're going to go into pointed feet and flexed feet. And again, you point and you flex. Big, big range of motion. It's important to get to the end range of the movement because when injuries happen, they do happen in that extreme range where we never go. So here is a safe environment because it's controlled where we want those muscles to work in that extreme range so that when we step down the carb the wrong way or we need to suddenly do a movement that was not foreseen, we are ready to react. And our ankles in this case are ready to react the right way. Now let's shade out. This is called gas pedaling. It's really, really powerful. And now, same position, same tension, we're going to alternate. Okay? This is tough. It's tough. Why? Because it's difficult to maintain the alignment when we start a unilateral type of work. So let's make sure that once I'm here, first of all, this is in maximum dorsiflexion, and the other one is maximum plantarflexion. And we look at the alignment of the knee and the second toe, and we make sure it stays. And we switch, and we switch, and we switch. Whoa! And release. Now, one more, which is great to complete the ankle work, the lotus. Okay, actually, I'm going to turn this way to the lotus so that you can see my feet better. And I want you to keep the heels with a little bit of space, but not too far apart, and the knees out. So from this position, I want you to think about pulling the little toes all the way up to the outside of the knees. This is the one where the spring extends the most. And then release. And again, scoop the little toe all the way up to the lateral part of the knees. And you go, you maintain, 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 and release. One more time. All the way up. Where are you feeling this? If you are in doubt, place your hands over here. You're going to feel these muscles really working hard to get that little finger, little toe, all the way up to the outside of the knee. And then release. Wonderful. Now, let's change and we go to the toe strap. We're going to do just a couple of things, but it will be very different now to work with the little muscle of the foot. Until now, we did work on the feet, but mostly with the bigger muscle, the extrinsic muscles that come down from the leg, which, as I said, are very important to load the ankle foot correctly, complex correctly. Now we're going to go and work with the intrinsic muscles. So sometimes, if you're not used, mostly in the beginning, it's very challenging. You might get into some cramping. That's very common because we give a lot of input to those muscles. We are not used to do those exercises, and the input overlap, and that creates the cramp, okay? So a lot of times for this next set of exercises I'm going to show you now, yes, the reinforcement is important, but it's more the neurological connection between the brain and the movement that has to be improved. And trust me, it's going to be quick. You do it 2 or 3 times, like two or three sessions, and you're going to see a huge improvement, okay? We all were able to do these little movements when we were kids because we were used to stay barefoot. Then we grow up, we mostly stay in shoes, maybe we never take them off, we go from shoes to slippers, slippers to shoes, and we lose that capability. But because we did these things back then, they will get back. Now, we're going to bring the foot hip width apart, the heels stay in place, and I'm going to separate and create a little space, right? I'm going to pull out the feet, the front part of the feet, and put a little tension in the spring. So what does that do? It creates space in between my toes. And then I release it in. So for who has very tight toes, this is great. Out, of course, always look at the feet, right? Feet like mine don't really need this exercise specifically too much because there is already separation. And release. One more time. You're going to separate. Now move out the heels so that they are aligned. And this is interesting. And now I want you to try to lift the big toes only. And then we place them back down. And then the other 8 toes. And down. And again, big toes up. And down. 8 toes up. And down. If it does not happen, help yourself. Put the hands there. Help your toes to stay down. With your fingers, you help your toes to stay down. You lift the big toes, and then you change. You can also start with one foot at a time, okay? Take all the time you need to get your feet comfortable and happy to move again, okay? If all this felt good, now we're going to put intrinsic and the extrinsic muscles together. and we're gonna do what I call the waves. So from here, I create a little bit of space in between the coils of the springs. I sit up tall, I lift, so I have ankles, toes, hips, back, and arms in place. Now from here, we're gonna touch 4 different positions. From these, flat feet, let's say, I'm gonna go into what I call the high heels position, called Barbie feet, where I push the ball of the foot forward, but the toes are still up. Then I point my toes like a ballerina. Then I send my toes back to Barbie feet and all the way back to flat. And again, high heels, point, toes back, and back. One more time. You push, I keep the tension. You see I'm shaking, point, toes, and back. Now let's change it up. You're gonna go to Barbie feet. You point your feet. Now pretend you're grabbing something with your toes and then release. And again you go. You point, grab that towel, grab that pen and release. One more. You go push, you grab, you pull it back and release. Let's reverse it. You curl, you go down, lengthen and up. You curl, you go down, lengthen. I'm still working, I'm shaking, curl, down, lengthen, and back, and release. Very, very nice. You don't have to do everything together. You're going to find a lot of workout where, the exercises are placed according to what you need, according to the level. But if you are, let's say, healthy, not specific, conditions and issues at the feet, and you want to get into learning how to use rescue loop, this is a good way to start. You can do it all. You can stop at the foot strap or pick and choose whatever fits your feet the best. Thank you for following us, and I'll see you soon.